All right, here we are back.
Episode 43, man.
In my sloppy office, everybody can see you now. Maybe that's why I didn't want to do this live on camera.
But it's cool, man. You know what? We travel around, we network with like the industry's top pros, and they're like, you know, they said when you're doing your podcast, keep it real, right?
That's what everybody said, so we're keeping it real.
It doesn't get more real than this.
Welcome to my home. This is where I spend umpteen hours every single day.
That's it, man. Jordan Marshall, Mike Langson, we're back. Another episode of Mastering Mitzvahs for you guys. So we're going to jump right into it. We got a pretty cool topic here. It is obviously the new year. It's fresh. Everything's back and rocking and rolling. Everybody's back from winter break doing their thing. And it is showcase season, man. Bar and Bat Mitzvah showcase season.
I think nobody knows it better than me. All this paper on my desk is pretty much about showcases.
And there's a lot of work that goes into it, a lot of time, effort, and dedication on our end. When we first started the brand many years ago, it was more of, do you want to participate in our show? We'll give you a table space, 8x8, send out your literature and like your banners, and that was it.
Remember the first one? I think we spent 3 hours setting
up a television,
and we didn't even know what we were doing.
Putting up a TV, yeah, it was a good time.
Pipe and drape, that was very difficult back then. Now we take over country clubs, and banquet facilities, and it's crazy.
And we produce them, and that's the crazy thing is that we're obviously privileged enough to be in a great area where our mitzvah product sings to the high heavens for all of our clients in the area, and they come to see us. So I feel like we're super blessed with that, to get that kind of traffic for our showcases that we produce, and it's definitely a very stressful and crazy time of year for us. But for you, let's call a spade a spade. The majority of the work, saying it right now, going on record, falls on Mike, and he does a great job. But he is the logistical guy, and I'm sure you guys probably know that already.
Yeah.
Even if this is your first episode watching or
listening. Let's stress this. This really isn't about my stress. It's about the stress of you guys, the listeners. So.
And we're here to make it so it's not so stressful, because our topic today is how not to get overwhelmed during showcases and when you're attending these Bar and Bat Mitzvah showcases, because it is information and fun stuff overload.
So let's start at the beginning. Families that are planning are starting to get e-blasts left and right about showcases. So at the very beginning, which ones do you go to? Do you go to one? Do you go to multiple? How do you know? So let's start there.
So this is definitely it's a loaded first topic. I think you can do it a couple different ways. When showcases are put together, venue and location plays a big part, obviously. People are looking to do their Bar and Bat Mitzvah in, many different types of style places. It could be a sports influence, it could be nightclub influence, it could be, something at a country club or a hotel. So there's so many different ways to go. So I think the location plays a lot into, the attendance. So if immediately you see a showcase that is in a similar styled setting,
right,
that you were thinking about maybe like having be the backbone for the day, that's a great way to start.
I think there's two types of clients also. There's the clients that are already booked at a venue, and then there's clients that are not. So
correct.
If you're already booked at a venue, and let's say Battleground Country Club, where our Super Bowl showcase is going to be. If you're booked at Battleground, and Battleground is promoting that they're doing a showcase, go to it. Go to it so you can see. Try the food, see the room laid out, interact with the staff. I mean, it's a real live, true tale of what to experience at your own park. So if you're booked at a venue and they're opening their doors, go there.
Definitely.
If you're not booked at a venue and you know of 2 or 3 venues that are opening their doors for showcase, then that's your time to visit multiple, try their food, interact with their staff, et cetera, et cetera.
Right. I also think the actual look and feel of different spots can play a big factor in what you guys are doing, especially with performance too. A lot of these shows, especially us included too, we perform at all of our shows that we do.
Well, actually no, not all. So that was going to be one of my tips is if you're a client and you're interested in a DJ company, find out if they're performing.
Right.
Like we are going to be
there. Mitzvah wise, everything that we touch mitzvah wise, we get up there and do our thing.
To some extent.
Right.
Some are full-blown performances with 8 different MCs.
That's important, man.
Some of them are just a couple little talking
super
points.
Important, it is going to be vendor overload when you go to see these, and sometimes the showcases, without naming any names, but certain shows do have, they just kind of let the list of vendors go, and you can walk in and be like, oh my God, there's 15 DJ companies here. How do I choose?
It's an unvetted list of just
Right.
You know, whoever wants to pay the fee, and you know, the truth is, there's a industry out there for planning showcases, and people make money off of it. You know, we do not. We put a showcase together, and we want the right vendors there. But yeah, there are companies out there that just will sell a vendor table to anybody. It could be a DJ that's done one bar mitzvah in their life.
Right.
If they pay that $400 table fee, there they are.
Now, how do you feel, Mike? We were touching on performance, and we'll get into it more in depth. But on the subject of performance, what are your thoughts on, you know, obviously, you know, if you're interested in an entertainment company and they are going to do their thing live, it's a great way to see them. How do you feel on seeing them multiple times, or should it just be a one and done, or what do you think?
I got mixed feelings. I think if you see them multiple times, you're going to get a really good feeling, you know, like
for the brand as a whole.
Yeah. But if you go once and you fall in love, then you don't have to feel like you need to see them 4 more times. You know, the same show for the most part is duplicated from venue to venue.
Right.
If there's set performers, you know, if performers A, B, and C are doing this week and performers D, E, and F are going next week, then yeah, as a family you might want to go to multiple shows.
Right.
But if you walk in and you saw Jordan perform and you fall in love with Jordan, just do it then. Yeah, don't feel obligated to go to multiple shows. I mean, we've had those families that have followed us through showcase season and gone to 4, 5, 6 shows, and we're humbled, but you don't have to.
And it's a great answer. And I also like the fact that, you know, another cool way that I think that you won't get too overwhelmed and pulling too much onto your plate, maybe by breaking it down. I feel like sometimes families go to these shows and they, you know, not only they see the entertainment company, but they see the, you know, LED foosball table and all the different photo station choices and the live musician they can have, and it's like, oh my God, it's so much. So, you know, I'm a firm believer of making sure that you have a connection with your brand straight up for the entertainment.
Well, I think that clients need to go to shows with a goal in mind. Like, like I'm going to go to this show in order to find my entertainment. And I would like to kind of get some information about photography. But, you know, go in with a goal and set that goal. And, you know, don't just walk in there aimlessly like, I don't know what I want. You know, unless you're planning that far out. You know, those families that come 4 years in advance that really don't even know the date. Like, that's cool. Come and explore. But, like, if the clock is ticking and your party's coming up, go in with a goal. Like, I got to find a centerpiece person. I got to find an invitation person.
Cool. Very cool.
And I would say, you know, that's where multiple shows might help you seeing more diversity. You know, when you asked about, you know, does it make sense to see multiple live performances? And I think the answer is no. You know, your live performance this week will be pretty comparable to your live performance next week. But if you're walking in looking for invitations, there might be 2 or 3 invitation people this week, and next week's show might be 2 or 3 very different invitations.
Right.
So
that's cool. It's a cool way to look at it. I like that.
But how do you not get overwhelmed? First off, I do believe in bringing your kids. I think you should.
Right.
I think, though, you know, you got to make sure that maybe there's somebody to watch your kids. Like, you could walk around and talk to the vendors while your kids are playing games. Like, are they okay on their own? Are they the type of kid that are okay on their own? Like,
and that's the big thing, too, is that not even their own, but I know that, you know, for us as entertainers, you know, like our staff and our crew and our team is super approachable. So, you know, even having them kind of help out with that, I think is a huge thing too.
Actually, you know what, I'm thinking, bring your child whose party it is, but maybe you have to leave the other children at home or get like, I have a 5-year-old. If I brought my daughter to a showcase for 3 hours, she'll be running around like crazy. I won't be able to have a party for her.
Totally planning a party for her.
You know, bringing a 5-year-old is not a great idea. You know, you're not going to be able to have a long conversation with the vendor or sit through a long interactive performance. But bring that 10, 11, 12-year-old whose party it's going to be, so they can get excited.
I like that. I like that a lot. And then, you know, also too, in you know, moving forward, when you know, these shows literally have so many different aspects of building a party and putting an event together, it's okay if you already have certain pieces booked, like you were saying before. Don't rule that show out just because, you know, hey, I got my, you know, my DJ, I got my photography, I got my venue, my videography, that's all cool. But, you know, maybe you are looking for a cool photo booth idea, or maybe you are looking for, you know, somebody to wrap your dance floor. You know what I mean? Like, there are these little nuggets, as we call them, that you can totally, you know, find the answers to and solutions. Like, it doesn't have to be like a huge production, like you're going there to knock everything out, you know?
Right. So let's say a couple other really good tips. Number one, I I would say 2 email addresses.
Yep.
Have your email address that you want to give out to the vendors that you want to speak to.
Like Zachary's bar mitzvah, whatever date.
At
gmail.com.
I was going there too, yeah. Like, create a party-specific
Right.
email address. But then if you have, you're going to get bombarded. Everybody's going to say, hey, sign up my booth to win something free.
Right.
Give them a fake email address, or give them an email address that you don't really care about. Like,
Right.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it's easier than being rude and saying, nah, I'd rather not. Just put down ABC at 1, 2, 3,
And I'm going to dial it back to piggyback off of that. This is something that we've been using year after year after year. Actually, we used it at our bridal shows, and it works out really great at the mitzvah shows as well. Like you said, you're going to be approached by a bunch of different vendors, all asking for the same information, the same stuff, your email, your date of your party, a good contact number, the whole
Stickers.
9. Yep, stickers all day. So, go get yourself like a sticker, portfolio from Staples or whatever, and type and just print in mass numbers all that information, so you can literally go
saves you all that writing.
and stick it right on their stuff, because everybody, you go from one table to the next. It helps save the time, helps save your mental capacity. Like, you don't have to blow your brains out.
And that allows you to, if there's all these door prizes,
Yeah.
you can enter to win every single door prize without sending their handwriting every single one out.
It also lets you focus too. I mean, I think part of not the struggle, but part of the craziness is being asked those same questions over
Right.
and over and over. I mean, like, the first 1, 2, 3, okay, cool. But when you get to table, 25, 26, you're like, my God, like, it can take the steam out of you too.
So I want to give another tip, and that's get there early. Like, it drives me crazy when families walk in when there's 15 minutes left.
Mhm.
At that point, we're winded, we're tired. We've spoken to 20 other.
And obviously,
families.
if you have stuff going on, like sports games, things like that, we totally get it. Like, some people might have
Yeah,
to at the time, but do your best to.
If you want to go and get information, go there early
Mhm.
and go right to that vendor that you want to talk to before they get overwhelmed.
Right.
They will give you undivided attention when they can. You show up late, and again, they're getting pulled in all different directions.
Yep.
It's hard to sit down and talk for a long time with a prospective new client as much as we want to.
Right, right. And I also, we're firm believers too, where, on the flip, when you come and you speak with us, we want people to get the information, the content that they need, and then not that it's like a keep moving kind of thing, but like, go around and talk to the other people, because they're all going to be able to help you. You know what I mean? That's the other thing too. On the flip, I think in not getting overwhelmed, but also like just try to spread your time out evenly and accordingly. Obviously, there's certain aspects of the party that are going to take a little bit more time and detail. Picking your DJ, is probably going to take a little bit more time than picking the the color of the invitation. You know what I mean? So like.
Well, also know that you don't have to make every decision at the showcase.
Correct.
Like, you feel a connection. If you feel a good enough connection, see if you can take advantage of a same-day show special.
Right.
And we'll put this out there. Clients, if you approach the DJ and say, "What if I book today?"
Mm-hmm.
Good chance that they'll do a discount to book today, versus you going home and thinking about it and.
Right. Right. It is a great way to get some money off and to.
But you don't have to pick
perks.
You don't have to pick everything there.
Right.
So, you know what, Jordan? I'm gonna lock you in. I'll figure out what photo booth. I don't know if I need lights or TVs. What do I need to do to reserve you? Here's my deposit. Can I get a discount today if I book today?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a great approach. I know. We'd say yes.
Yeah. Probably
100 times out of 100.
Money making tip right there.
That's how you do it. Giving you the secrets to the trade here.
So what else? What else makes a showcase day stress free?
You know what? I think.
Have a drink.
Yeah.
If they offer it, have a drink.
Totally get it. I would totally, like you said, eat the food, drink the drink. Like, definitely sip on the Kool-Aid that the spot has to offer for the day. Take it all in. They're gonna when it's done right by the venue and the hall, they're gonna do their best to make your experience at the showcase try to mirror the experience they're gonna give you on the day of the event. So I would just going all in is a great way to kind of tackle that and hit it. I know specifically at our shows, so I'm speaking, obviously on our behalf, we have a lot of enhancements, a lot of cool toys and fun games and stuff for people to jump in and get to. Maybe you could explain to our listeners and people that are going to these shows a good way to break up, looking for EE. That's great, it's all well and good, it's fun, it's cool, but that talent's important.
So I think it depends where you're at in the planning stage.
Right.
And if you have your kids or not with you.
Right.
You know, if it's, you know, mom walking in, the party's already booked, you know, you just need to find a florist or decorator, then
Cool.
you can kind of skip over, you know, the air hockey and the foosball. Like
You can come with 15 minutes left of the showcase.
yeah, glance by, check it out, but that, you know, that's not your goal.
Right.
You know, but use those games, like, let the kids play. Like, you know, hey guys, see you later. I'm gonna go talk to all the vendors. Let the kids play. Check in on them. See how much fun they're having with them. You know, don't get inundated with it as a parent unless you know, depends on the type of party you're planning.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the parties are all about games, and then get your hands dirty and play them and have fun with it.
Love it. I love it. And I think that, you know, especially in our area, you know, because we are in such a dominant, you know, Jewish area where we live, like there are, you know, so many different showcases that come up and pop up, and it's almost like they're week after week, and what separates them, what makes them different. I know, like, on our end, we're really trying to, you know, bring different things to each show and try our best to kind of switch up the, you know, certain aspects of the shows just to keep it fresh, because there are people that do come to these regularly.
Go to all of them.
Yeah, and they'll check them all out, which is cool, you know, and we appreciate that and we love that, but like, you know, on us, we want to make sure that, you know, we're bringing something different to the table each time, or, you know, maybe it's a really cool enhancement or something that'll work well at that venue. You know, so I think that figuring out a good method for your family to kind of break down, like you said, break down the talent, the enhancements, like in an order, like know what you want to do in an order of events, you know, like, and certain things are going to be more important for certain families. Just know that your top 3 things are probably your venue, your entertainment company, photo, video.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing anything? That was like your top 3, like
Decor planning.
Cool. So a planner if you need that.
So here's a good tip. You know, you're gonna go to multiple.
Right.
Take your phone, obviously.
Right.
Take pictures.
Yep.
But when you walk in, like, take a picture. Boom, Battlegrounds. You know, sign-in board that says Super Bowl Showcase, Explosive Entertainment. Take a picture of that. Then, as you're walking through, take a picture of the foosball, the air hockey, or whatever else you're interested in. You now know, like, because you're gonna go to multiple shows, you're gonna get overwhelmed. Now you know, all right, cool, it was right after the Battleground sign,
Right.
so I know I saw this at Battleground with Explosive. Because the next week you might go to another show at another venue, it all starts to blend in. So take pictures so you can go back and review them, and take a picture of the sign of the building or the sign in, so they know, you know, where they're at.
Right. You know what else is actually pretty cool, a way not to get overwhelmed, and also a cool little tip. You had mentioned, you know, bringing your guest of honor, the child. I'd say also too, bringing your friends of the family. Like if you have a good friend of the family, or another, you know, your friend from college or whatever, you guys are the same age, you're both planning an event, that's a great way to kind of not only enjoy the experience together, get some great feedback. There's a couple things that happen here. If I know that if we approach 2 people at the same time, that deal comes into play too. Like if we're going to do both of these at the same time, that's a great way to get some extra, you know, dollars off.
I would say then take that friend or family member, whoever it is, if it's your whole family or your neighbor, whoever, go out to eat afterwards.
Right.
Like, although you'll probably be picking food at the showcase, go out to a bar or restaurant, sit down and digest it all.
Yep.
Like literally talk about it. What do you think of that? You know, like, did you like the performance? Did you try the food? Like, and make it real time. Like, don't a week later, hey Susie, what'd you think? Like, things start to dwindle down. I mean, even if it's the car ride home, you know, like, hit it right then and there.
I think that the stuff's going to stay fresh, and even just saying like, hey, what did you remember from the show? What stuck out in your mind? The things that stick out that you're like, man, when, you know, when they did this, or, you know, when this enhancement, you know, lit up when they hit the winning point, like those are the things that you're like, these are the cool factors. That's the stuff that would be taken home at a regular event anyway, you know, where that's the stuff that people are going to remember. Like those are probably the things you should be really weighing, like, hey, should we have these? Should we do this?
And you know, I think you've always said it, but be there. Like, if you're going to be there, get into it, get involved, dance. Make sure your kid is dancing, you know.
Nothing like a bunch of strangers rocking and rolling for a day, huh?
Yeah.
That's why you bring your friends too. Friends, doing it together is cool. It takes a lot of pressure off just you. It, you know, gives a nice group, like you were saying, you know, good, you can bounce ideas off of each other. It's a great platform to come to a well-rounded decision. And the other thing too, you know, Mitzvahs here, Mikey, and I can imagine all over the world, people are battling for themes, for ideas, for vibes. It's a great way.
Uniqueness, yeah.
Yeah, to be unique and make sure, like, hey, listen, you're going to do that? Cool, I love this. I'm going to go do this over here.
Yep.
We've seen so many bar and bat mitzvahs, and some stuff does get reused and recycled. It's a great way to keep it as original as possible.
Right on. So I think it's time to wrap this one up.
Cool.
I'm going to dive back into my showcase planning.
I like it.
But let's just throw it out there for those that are in the area. Super Bowl Showcase, February 2nd.
Yep.
Battleground Country Club. Go to superbowlshowcase.com. Register to attend. It's the show of all shows for us. I mean,
Yep.
This is our
Super Bowl.
It is. It really is. So, last and final tip, know the size of the show that you're going to. Are there a lot of vendors? Are there a lot of enhancements? You could probably be in and out of some shows in an hour if there's no performance and minimal vendors. You're going, you're trying the food, you already got everything, you could be in and out. Our Super Bowl Showcase, I would say, get there early and stay for 2.5 hours.
And it's super dope too, because our Super Bowl show is kind of a it's a double-edged sword, because on one hand it is such a big show, but it's a big show attendee wise. I feel like we keep our vendors very tight knit. It's like it's a great you have lots of vendors to choose from. You know what I mean? Like for each category, where you're like, okay, this is a nice average of the people in the area that do a good job.
Yep.
Where you going? So it's not too much, but on the back end, with all the guests that we get, it turns into a really cool event. So again, get there early, arrive open-minded, just listen to the ideas, be in the room, be a part of it. And also too, for us, for our Super Bowl Sunday showcase, we're giving away some really cool stuff. We have some really cool prizes that we're gonna be dropping, and over I think we're doing over $10,000 worth of
It's gonna be crazy.
prizes that we're giving out on this thing. So we hope everybody wins something. So come on out, win something for your event, have a great day. It'll be way before the game. We'll get you guys out in plenty of time for the kickoff, and come spend your Super Bowl Sunday with explosive entertainment. We're looking forward.
Awesome.
Cool.
Good job.
Mastering Mitzvahs. Mike Langsner, Jordan Marshall. We'll catch you guys next time. Happy planning. We'll see you soon. Later.
Peace.